What's going on, guys? I'm Landon, and this is David, and we're Taffie Hoops. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to NBA hot takes on Reddit. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. There's a lot of hot takes just around the NBA Twitter, Reddit, all that, and a lot of them suck. And we kind of need to put these people in their place. So let's go.
Okay, this one isn't really as much. This first one isn't really as much of a hot take as it is just like a prediction that's like, eh. It says that Wemby is going to be a bust. Basically, just saying that they're basically saying that he's going to be a bigger bust than Anthony Bennett because of injuries. Which
I can see injuries because he is so tall. I don't think he'll be a bigger bust than Anthony Bennett, though. That's not the case.
Yeah.
He'll be a very solid NBA player. There's no denying his talent. You can totally deny Anthony Bennett's talent. Like, he was such a he was not projected to be number one overall.
Yeah.
Wemby is going to be a good NBA player. He's going to be very awesome. The one concern with him is his stability, like injury-wise. And I think, worst case scenario, he has a career like Yao Ming, where he plays 8 years, every year is an all-star year, but he has a big injury that derails his career.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. I think, honestly, the only way I think in my mind he could be a bigger bust than Anthony Bennett is just maybe if he does, because he has bigger shoes to fill than Anthony Bennett. So maybe
that's fair.
But like
I don't see it at all, though.
But yeah, Anthony Bennett is like the biggest bust in history. He shouldn't have been number one. Excuse me. And he just was not a number one whatsoever. He wasn't even like a lottery talent player. Just bad. I don't know. It's kind of just an take. Like sure, of course, if he gets injured, he's gonna not play as well. Okay, I actually like this next one. I'll just tell you. This year is the last chance for the Warriors to win a championship in the near future. I like that. I think that's a W take.
Okay.
But it's his reasoning that I don't think. I think it's wrong. He says, "I say this is because Wemby is coming into the league and it is going to dominate. Also, the Warriors have a 0% chance of getting him since they are middle of the pack."
Here's what I think. That doesn't matter. Rookie Wemby is not going to make a huge difference.
That's what I'm saying.
But the Warriors, they're going to lose Draymond Green. They don't have any way to pay him. He's going to be gone. So he obviously there's been issues with him on the team, and with him like leaving, like he's like the glue for that team.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like Jonathan Kuminga is going to take his spot. Jordan Poole has dropped in production. Klay Thompson's dropped in production. I don't think they'll win the championship this year. I don't think they're contenders this year, just because they haven't played to the level that they played last year to win the championship. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're just like running out. It's like when you're playing like My League in 2K, and you're playing with salary cap on, and then like it starts like your team just starts falling apart because like just randomly your player would be like, "Oh, I want out," or like this player's just asking for a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
And you just like cannot. You like the team's just falling apart. But it's also kind of like we had a good run. Like I won like 8 straight championships with this god squad of a team.
Exactly.
Obviously the Warriors basically as close to as you can get to that in reality.
I would say they're trying to continue with the old timeline and the new timeline, but like their new timeline players aren't as good as their old timeline players. Like Moses Moody is not going to replace Klay Thompson. There's nobody on that team that's going to replace Steph Curry. Nobody on that team is going to replace Draymond. You have to, if you're going to have that timeline, you have to have young players that are actually really good. And I feel like they're ruining this year's chances by playing James Wiseman, by playing Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga that much. Yeah. So they need to pick a timeline. And yes, that might be their last year, but so be it. They won 5 championships or 4 championships.
Yeah. So yeah, I think W take, but not because of Wemby. It's just because there's so many better teams in the league right now. Like Celtics, Bucks, they're taking over. It's not the Warriors league anymore.
Honestly, though, I could see them just randomly being really good next year.
The Warriors?
Yes.
Yeah. I think, honestly, the Warriors I think they could give it like one last hurrah with Steph Curry. Keep Steph Curry just until he retires, and then just completely retool around him. Sell all their really young players for like kind of up and coming like middle-ish players.
Yeah.
And just kind of
see what happens.
That could maybe work.
I don't know. I feel like their team is so dependent on that culture, and I feel like a lot of their players they can't lose that culture by getting new players that don't fit into the system.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah. I shared this next take with you before we started recording, but it says, Ben Simmons is today's Magic Johnson without the passing. W or L take? Personally, definitely an L take. It's these things like this that make me think, do you even watch basketball? Do you even know what you're talking about? Like, why do you have internet access? I just don't understand. But the only way I can relatively think that Ben Simmons can compare to Magic Johnson would be their passing.
Yeah. It's not the worst take I've ever seen, just because maybe he hasn't watched Magic Johnson. Maybe he doesn't know his game. But Magic Johnson is one of the best passers of all time. He's one of the best defending point guards of all time. He's one of the best rebounding point guards of all time. And he has a motor. And he defends very well. And like he was an average shooter for the time. Ben Simmons was none of that. Is like he's not any of that right now. And I guess maybe in Philly, but like his passing was his best category. So that makes no sense to me. I would argue that Magic Johnson was better than him in every single category, and it's not even close.
Yeah. And I think, again, the only one I think is relatively close in is the passing, which for some reason this post excluded, which I just don't get.
That makes no sense.
Okay, the next take. And this is a good one. Or like it's a very up for debate, I think. It's Tim Duncan is greater than Kobe Bryant.
I agree.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan is a better leader. He didn't have the flashiness, but he got stuff done. And I guess his prime you could consider was shorter. But Kobe had so many like better teams than Tim Duncan did, and didn't produce. Like he had a lot of first round exits that shouldn't have been. Tim Duncan was just like that consistent big fundamental player. Yes, I would take him over Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I think Tim Duncan obviously. I mean, I hate to bring up I don't know. I just think. They both have 5 championships, don't they?
They do.
Okay, I was about to say Tim Duncan had more, but then I realized I don't know what I'm talking about. Kobe Bryant has 5 championships too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was thinking of LeBron subconsciously in my mind. Yeah, I mean I think Tim Duncan obviously just better defensively, better just like again he's not fun to watch like you said. I would much rather watch Kobe Bryant highlights than Tim Duncan highlights.
Yes, I agree.
But I think ultimately. He led his team. He was always. Was he the number one on all his playoff teams?
Yes, you could argue that David Robinson was at the beginning of their career. Like, Tim Duncan was the number one in every single championship. Kobe Bryant was the number 2 in his first 2, but his last 3 he was, or his first 3 he was number 2, but after that he was number 1. You could definitely argue that because Tim Duncan was the best player on every single one of his championship teams, that he is the better player than Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
and I agree.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. W or L take? Luka and Giannis will be a top 10 of all time.
So, the way I'm thinking about this, you're going to have to take out 2 players. So, my top 10 right now of all time, not in any order because I don't want to worry about that. I don't want to forget people. LeBron, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Magic Johnson, Kareem, Bill Russell, Shaq. I'm trying to think. There has to be another one.
Larry Bird?
Yes, Larry Bird. So who are you going to take out of those? I think Giannis definitely makes it.
I think he's on track.
Unfortunately,
Giannis needs championships, though.
Unfortunately, you'd have to take out Kobe, I think.
Yeah.
I think Kobe is the 10th best player of all time right now. You'd have to take him out. And then after that, I think you could argue that Luka takes out Curry. I have Kobe and Curry as 9 and 10. So if you're saying that Giannis and Luka would take those 2 out,
yeah,
it would be close. It would depend on championships for sure. Luka could be totally one of one of those players who's like super dominant, but just doesn't win any championships or doesn't win many championships. That really depends on that. Giannis, I think, has no reason where I don't think there's any way he doesn't win more than 3 championships.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a matter of like it depends completely on their championships.
Right now, Luka has no MVPs. I think he wins this year. So that really depends on like how many awards he gets, how many championships he gets, and also if they get injured. Right now, Giannis is like creeping outside of that top 10. He's a lot closer than Luka is. But Luka could be. I mean, I see a world where he could be. It's not unreasonable to think that he could be a top 10 player of all time. It's a high bar to pass Steph Curry all time, especially when he basically just cracked the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. And he's still going.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, if Steph Curry adds another championship to that list, then he hops up a lot. And it's just like, it's hard to do it when there's a lot of current players.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Giannis definitely makes it.
Yes, I agree.
I think Giannis is pretty set up. I think Giannis could retire tomorrow and be a Hall of Famer. I mean, just with his accolades he has now.
Oh, exactly.
It's more than most players that have in like whole career. I think he'll just keep adding to that, obviously, and he'll get high, I think. Okay, this one, another kind of injury one. It says Ja Morant will be just like Blake Griffin, washed and no longer able to yam it down over defenders in 5 years.
I don't like to predict injuries.
Yeah.
I don't. I think Ja Morant, I'm going to be optimistic and say no. I think he is, with sports medicine how it is today, have the advances that we got in the past 10 years, I'd argue that Ja Morant is what Derrick Rose couldn't be.
Yeah.
That's my argument right there.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't really want to talk on an injury.
And Blake Griffin's still a good player. I mean, he's nothing like he was in the Clippers or even the Pistons. But, like, he's still a solid role player. He's making a bag in the league right now. He's hitting threes. Like, I watched a bunch of highlights where he hit, like, 4 for 8, which is pretty good for him. So he's doing well.
Yeah.
Obviously can't do what he did earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this next take, it's going over, it's referring to a video. The video claims that Kawhi Leonard is the best player to never win an MVP, and Chris Paul's number 2. This take is claiming Chris Paul should be number 1.
I got to think of who didn't win MVPs.
That's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because I would take Kawhi over Chris Paul all time, even though neither of them won MVP. Just the playoff success that Kawhi Leonard has had is insane. Like, it's...
Dwayne Wade
never won MVP?
Mm-mm.
He's number 1.
Yeah.
He's number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dwayne Wade won a championship as the team's best player. So did Kawhi. But Dwayne Wade did it for much longer. He hasn't had as much... he didn't have as much injury history. He also has more championships than Kawhi. It's really hard to argue. They're close, I think. Also, Dwayne Wade also has the all-time stats, a lot more than Kawhi.
Yeah.
I'd take definitely Dwayne Wade over Kawhi.
Well, because I think in my mind it just makes sense why Kawhi does. Like, Kawhi just can't win MVP if he's doing load management.
Right.
So it's like,
let's say he wins 5 championships, which he won't. I don't think he will. Then yes, I would argue that, but
like, he's the best player, but it still makes sense why. Like, it's not like he got
he never got snubbed.
Yeah.
He's never been in huge contention for MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Isaiah Thomas too. Isaiah Thomas is up.
No.
Hey, IU basketball is better than Purdue basketball, right? Taffie Hoops fans. Taffie Hoop fans. Gosh, those don't even exist. Okay, I like this next one. W or L take. Jason Tatum is extremely overrated.
No.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is a top 10 player in the league, and that's how he's been ranked. I don't know if there's... Yeah, I don't know. I think that's very not true. He led his team to the finals this year. He's dominating right now. I don't know. Do they want him to win a championship before they stop calling him overrated?
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking. This take's looking at.
Like,
I definitely think. I think he could be a guy that. I'm trying to think of a comparison for him, but like maybe later on, like 3 years, he hasn't really led to a lot of winning, besides like his trip to the finals. Like maybe you kind of reconsider like, is he like a Bradley Beal type person, or like kind of just one of those like really dominant players. But there's very little players because Jason Tatum is offensively dominant, and then just on the defensive side of the ball,
he's a plus defender.
He's a plus defender. There's very little players that are like that at his level of just expertise and skill that don't lead to winning.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball.
I'd compare him to Pacers Paul George with a competent team.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, like Pacers Paul George was close to a top 5 player in the NBA, and that's how Jason Tatum is right now. He's knocking on the door of the top 5. And I don't think that's overrated.
No. Yeah. So I'll take Jason Tatum is properly rated in my mind right now. I think he's actually very perfectly rated.
I think so too.
I don't think he's too high. I don't think he's too low.
He's just behind LeBron.
I think he's perfect. This next take says technicals are too soft. Easy. Yes,
I agree.
They've been so dumb this year, especially the dumb bench ones. Like just
okay. Let them celebrate. What's so bad about Montrezl Harrell stepping on the line when he's celebrating a huge Joel Embiid dunk? Like saying. What's so bad about that?
Yeah.
He slightly stepped over the line. Oh, you're kicked out of the game.
Because it interfere. Like it's just like it's spirit of the law. Like come on.
Yeah. And I get it if you're like, I think the letter of the law is like if you go on the court, it's a technical foul.
Yeah.
And so that's why like a bunch of Jazz players got technical fouls last year, because they were like stepping on the court to like stop a fight or something like that. I forget. But like a bunch of them like got techs, and a few of them got suspensions because they already had techs and they got ejected, all that. So like a player getting ejected for stepping on the court, like that's what Montrezl Harrell did. That's stupid.
Yeah, I think technicals are just like, they're just very, like the NBA has just gradually gotten very soft. I think it's very interesting just to, because like I keep forgetting, you haven't watched The Last Dance, but just like the way.
I need to watch Last Dance.
But you've seen how like they played.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
80s and 90s.
If you look at the Mouse and the
Palace. But just like, I'm thinking specifically of just like the Bulls versus Pistons series.
Oh yeah.
They just beat each other up. Same with the Celtics too. Like they just were tough on each other.
Yeah.
And like no technicals, nothing was called. And like it's just I don't know.
I think the NBA I think players should stop arguing with refs. It's annoying. It slows down the game. It makes it less fun to watch. Which I don't think they should get techs for that. But also, I think they should just stop. It's stupid. Yeah,
it's a player issue too. Like the players are too whiny. The refs have become too soft and they've become whiny. Like everyone's become whiny. It's a culture thing.
They're trying to establish authority when there's no authority to be established.
Yeah, exactly. Bring back authentic masculinity. Just stop being whiny and suck it up.
Be a man.
Okay, I think. Okay, next take. 76ers will have 3 new championships by 2030. I think I'll take. I don't see them getting 3. I think that's a lot.
I don't see them getting 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to predict going up to 2030. But Joel Embiid, every single pairing he's had hasn't really worked, except Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy Butler wasn't even like he wasn't there for a while. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for Joel Embiid to pair up with somebody when he's such a post-centric player in a perimeter-centric league. James Harden's not the right guy with him, I don't think. I don't think they'll even get close to a championship this year.
Yeah, and Harden's timeline is just like he's not lasting until 2030.
Yeah, I don't even think Joel Embiid's lasting until 2030.
Yeah, he's too injury prone. He's gonna be
out in like 2027.
He's gonna be like a Dwight Howard.
No. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Like a dominant guy who then just kind of becomes this bench kind of.
The thing is, Dwight Howard got an injury. That's what stopped him.
Dwight Howard did?
Yeah.
I mean, that's Embiid too.
That's true. That could
He's
happen.
just going to get beaten up by injuries until he just is like, I don't know.
That could happen.
Maybe he'll let himself go like Shaq. Who knows? But
maybe.
I don't actually know how Embiid will go out. How do you think Embiid kind of just?
I mean, he'll probably win an MVP. He'll probably end up going out like Charles Barkley. He'll go to the finals one year and lose. He was just a dominant big man who won an MVP, but he didn't win a championship.
Yeah, and you think he'll fade out? You'll think he'll be out by like 2027 because
I think he'll at least be. He won't be an All-Star in 2027. In 5 years, he won't be an All-Star.
he'll be a role player.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can't believe 2027 is so close. It's like
I know that feels really weird because I'm thinking in my mind I'm like 2027 is what that's like 10 years and then like but no it's like 4.
yeah, because it's almost 2023.
Yeah. Okay. W or L take. 73-9 Warriors are the best team in NBA history, and it doesn't even come close.
That is false. It's close. 72-10 Bulls,
Yeah.
I would argue, is a better team.
Yeah, and it's the same argument you're always going to hear. It sounds cliche, but you're not the best team in NBA history if you didn't win the championship.
Yeah. That
Like-
that is a great case. The thing is, I'm not even going to focus on the finals for the Warriors. They almost lost to the Thunder. They had to do a 3-1 comeback to win. Like, the Bulls dominated the playoffs. They had one more loss in the regular season. I think I'm going to take that Bulls team over the Warriors.
The Bulls actually lost less that season because of the playoffs. Right?
Because of the playoffs, yes.
Yeah, so that's just a dumb argument because it's like if you're going to say they're the best team because they have one more win, it's like they don't actually have one more win. So
Yeah. You could argue that the competition for the Warriors was much better, but still, like, if you're the best team of all time, you have to win the championship.
yeah, I think L take. I think it wouldn't have been as bad of a take if it didn't say and it doesn't even come close. I think because it added that, it's just that extra like confidence
And yeah,
that it
I
shouldn't
agree.
have.
The extra arrogance that
Yeah.
makes you look stupid.
Yeah. Okay. This is an interesting one. Anthony Edwards will be top 5 in MVP voting next year.
No.
No, I don't think so. This was 4 months ago. So
This was before the season started.
does that mean this year? I'm gonna say it's next season because it says year, not season. So let's.
No. He's not even the top in his draft class.
Tyrese.
Tyrese Halliburton will be higher than him in MVP voting that year.
Yeah. Props to Tyrese. I was just talking to you about this, but like, he just this year has become very consensus number 1 or number 2 of his draft class,
Right.
which I think is really.
He has inserted himself as one of the best players of the draft class, and I think even LaMelo Ball could be over Anthony Edwards in MVP voting.
Yeah.
But like, he's not going to be ahead of Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Embiid, Tatum. Those 5 guys already are going to be ahead of Anthony Edwards, especially when they're not that good of a team right now. And that could be something that they fix and they get better later in the season. But the Timberwolves are not that great of a team right now. And that Gobert trade looks worse and worse and worse every week.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was definitely a take that was made when
Right when Gobert.
yeah, when it was like, oh, the Timberwolves are going to be like a 1 or 2 seed. Okay, this next one, get ready. If Kyrie Irving, which we can ignore everything he's done off the court, but if Kyrie Irving was 6'6", he'd be the greatest of all time.
Are you saying he just magically turned into 6'6" right now, or he was 6'6" like
That's kind of
earlier
what-
in his
yeah,
career?
I'm kinda
Because
wondering that.
I'm thinking if he's 6'6" earlier, he would not have developed the handle he had. He wouldn't have had to.
Let's say it's like 2K.
And if you just make him 6'6",
It's like a Click Productions video. Like he's like
Okay.
put into a draft, like it's like re-simulating his
Okay.
career, but he's 6'6" this time. But everything else is the same. Just hypothetical.
it's like the argument of making Allen Iverson 6'6".
Yeah.
Like, he would be slightly better defensively.
Better shooter.
Yeah. I wouldn't even argue better shooter. I
Kyrie
think
Irving?
I'm saying Kyrie Irving is a better shooter than Allen Iverson.
Oh, okay.
But I would say Kyrie Irving would become better defensively, but not a better shooter by being 6'6".
Yeah, but like his finishing would be way better. And
Right.
It's already elite.
Yeah, he'd be a much better player. I don't think he'd be a best all time.
Why though? Because like that's like Michael Jordan's height. Then he's probably going to be able to like slam it down just as much as Michael Jordan.
Does he have hops? I've never seen Kyrie dunk in a game.
The only dunk I think I can remember of Kyrie is when it was just a very weak like dunk, and then like Kevin Durant did the. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to rate Kyrie, especially since he hasn't played so much. But like he's one of the most talented players of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's an interesting one. I like that one.
I like the take. I'm gonna say L for right now because I have to think about it more.
Yeah.
But it's a take that got me thinking.
Yeah. Okay. The Boston Celtics will have 20 championships by 2030.
They have 17 right now.
Yeah, so that's 3 in the next 7 years.
8 seasons. Or no, 7 seasons.
7 seasons.
3 out of 7.
It's a lot. Because the parity is high in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I don't think any team wins 3 championships over the next 7 seasons. So I'm going to say no because you have so many teams. You have the Bucks, you have the Celtics, you have the Mavericks, you have the Clippers, you have the Nuggets. I think at least 3 of those teams will win at least 1 championship.
The Pacers.
And you like the Thunder. Like the Thunder will be good.
Like then the up and coming teams.
The Grizzlies.
That by like 2028 are going to be contenders.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to argue that no team is going to win more than 3 championships in the next 7 seasons.
Yeah.
But they will be one of those teams that wins 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have 18 or 19.
It's exciting. It's just an exciting time for the NBA in general. Just because
every game is exciting.
Yeah, and it's like every game is exciting. I feel like no team can get comfortable because one, they're not guaranteed like a high seed this year. They're not guaranteed a like decent shot at the championship if they're not on their A game all season.
Yeah, I agree.
I think no franchise can be comfortable because there's no dynasties are being formed right now. It's just going to be like constant, like just everyone is just like going to be competing for the next I don't know how long. But it just seems like everything is set up right now to just be so evenly distributed across the league, but also talented at the same time.
Do you think Luka leaves when he has his free agency?
It's interesting you say that because as I was going on that little rant, I was kind of thinking of that. I'm not sure. Does
Luka start another LeBron dynasty type thing?
I think he could.
He totally could. Watch him join the Celtics.
That's scary.
Watch Luka Doncic join the Celtics. You have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic. You probably wouldn't have Marcus Smart. You probably wouldn't have Malcolm Brogdon. You probably would still have.
But who cares?
You'd still have Time Lord.
Yeah.
Like you have all their young core. You wouldn't have Al Horford, but you have those 3 guys.
Or no, they do have him.
No, they have him now, but they wouldn't have him then because he's old.
I know. I'm thinking of 2K. Because I'm just at rent.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be very interesting. Luka, what team would he go to in the next, I think it's 2 or 3 years when his contract expires? Like
that's kind of scary. Because I don't think he's loyal. I think
he wants to win over everything.
He's had too many playoff series already where he's carried and his team has just not pulled through for him.
Yeah.
It takes the one before his contract expires, and he's out of there.
I agree. Let's see. He could go to Phoenix and join up with Devin Booker. He wouldn't go to OKC. He could go to Miami and play with Tyler Hero. I don't know. I'm just thinking like...
Or wait, no. Lucas signed an extension.
Not recently, though.
Lucas
his contract goes up.
27.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he's tied down for a while.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, just what we've seen with like Harden and stuff, and like Kevin Durant, I could see him replacing.
I don't think it's a good move for Luka to leave via trade.
Me neither, but like
he has to leave via free agency. It's a much more classier move. You don't have to deal with like hurt fan bases over like, I want to leave, I don't want to be here. You can just kind of make your exit
nice and peaceful.
Yeah, it's not really peaceful because if you look at the LeBron decision, but still, it's a lot better than LeBron being like, "Hey, I want out of Cleveland, trade me right now."
Yeah. Yeah, that scares me. What was that original take? Oh yeah, it was the Boston Celtics will have 20 championships, but no, they won't.
Luka on the Cavs.
Oh my gosh, that'd be.
They'd lose one of their 4 stars. But
I don't care.
They'd lose at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting.
Okay. Chris Paul is the 3rd best point guard of all time in front of Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Oscar Robertson.
Yes.
And John Stockton.
Yes.
And so that's obviously behind Magic and Curry.
Yes. I agree.
It's just the championships. But, like, at the same time...
Isaiah Thomas has 2, which he's not even...
Pew, pew.
He is not even close the amount of talent that Chris Paul has. Oscar Robertson, you could make a case. I think I ranked him higher in my last all-time, but I would take Chris Paul over him.
Yeah.
And then John Stockton,
Yeah, John Stockton. No championships. He's leader in assists just because he played with Karl Malone his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Stockton's pretty overrated.
I think a lot of people say he's overrated.
Yeah.
Which makes him properly rated.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. That's hard. Chris Paul 3rd.
I don't think it's a question.
Isaiah Thomas though.
No.
2 championships?
I would take Robertson over Isaiah Thomas.
2 championships?
Yep. I love how Steve Nash with 2 MVPs isn't even on this list.
Well, yeah, because he's just...
He shouldn't have won both of those.
I don't like Steve Nash.
Kobe Bryant should have won one of those.
And Shaq should have won another one.
How many MVPs does Shaq have?
1.
And Kobe has 1?
Have you seen that clip of Shaq on the couch?
No.
It's super fun. I'll show it to you after this. But it's like, it's with a bunch of like of analysts and commentators. He's like laying down on the couch, like he's in like a counseling session, and he's talking about how he's like traumatized by Steve Nash because it doesn't make sense that he has 2 MVPs and he and Kobe both have 1. Which it doesn't make any sense. I think Steve Nash is overrated. Yep. There's a lot of overrated, I think, guards.
It doesn't make sense that James Harden has 2 MVPs and Dwayne Wade has 0.
James Harden doesn't have 2 MVPs.
He has 1, sorry.
He has 1. But
never mind.
But yeah.
He was in contention for another one. Yeah. Never mind, you're right.
No, I think you're right though. This is L take. But Blake Griffin is the best in-game dunker of all time. Prove me wrong. Anyone got a better player? Excuse me. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter.
Gerald Green. I'm being honest. But, actually, no. Blake Griffin is close. You could even argue Zach LaVine. Nah, not Zach LaVine. In-game. Vince Carter got up there. LeBron got up there. Blake Griffin has a high volume of insane dunks. Gerald Green has the best in-game dunk of all time.
I think LeBron James is the best in-game dunker.
Which, of all... I don't know. LeBron had a different dunking style.
Yeah.
LeBron was powerful.
I hate to bring it back to this argument with LeBron James, but just like longevity. I know it's annoying.
That's true.
I know it's annoying because every argument you hear with LeBron James is longevity.
You know that one that didn't count in the bubble where like Caruso missed a layup and LeBron went in like that?
Yeah.
That is one of the best in-game dunks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it didn't even count.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald Green with the windmill was insane. I don't know.
Kobe Bryant.
That's true.
Dominique,
I don't know.
Dominique Wilkins.
It's definitely a conversation. Blake Griffin deserves to be in that conversation.
Dominique, Dr. J.
Yep.
I think I actually have.
We should definitely make a dunkers rating list or something like that, because it's really subjective, and I want to see where your head's at with all the dunkers. I thought
Me,
that'd be really
personally?
cool. Yes, you.
This is kind of off topic, but nothing's off topic. Do you remember when I made this NBA superlatives?
Oh yes, yes.
My first category on it is best dunkers of all time.
Flashback to freshman year.
So this is so bad looking back on it. We can put the slideshow in the thing.
In the video,
in
yeah.
the video, but so best dunkers of all time, honorable mentions. Shaq, which, yes, he's not flashy, but he's dominant.
And he tore down a few backboards.
Also, Giannis deserves to be in this conversation.
Oh yeah.
Clyde Drexler.
Mm-hmm.
This is where freshman me, I'm kind of okay, that's a little ambitious, but maybe not super ambitious. I put Ja and Zion in my honorable mentions, which they're good, but they're not there
Ja
yet.
is very fun to watch, especially his dunking. So I would put Ja in there.
I think
In the honorable mentions, that makes sense.
is Ja better than Westbrook already, do you think?
And dunking?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I think he will get I think if he keeps it up, he's a little flashier than Westbrook, I think.
That's true. And I feel like he has more hops in him.
I also put Muggsy Bogues.
Hey, he can dunk.
I think that was my justification. I think I was if Muggsy Bogues is this short and can dunk, he deserves to be up there, which, sure, props to him. Number 10 is Russell Westbrook.
Yep, that's fair.
Number 9, Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
Number 8 was Blake Griffin, who I put a picture of my brother Griffin. Number 7, Aaron Gordon. So this actually this wasn't
not
specifically in game.
It wasn't.
Number 6 is Zach LaVine. Puts a picture of Adam Levine. Number 5 is LeBron James. Number 4 is Dominique. 3 is Julie Serving. 2 is Michael Jordan. And 1's Vince Carter.
So you put Michael Jordan over LeBron?
Yeah.
We didn't even mention him.
We
didn't even mention him for it.
When? Oh, I mentioned. I said it, but.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't think of him. I didn't think of him at all. Yeah, that's a good list. Yeah. Honestly, looking back 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would say Blake Griffin's in that conversation.
He's in the conversation.
DeAndre Jordan can be in that conversation too. He was more of an alley-oop guy, but still.
Yeah.
Lob City all deserves that.
Yeah, he's in the conversation, but I won't say it's a W or L take, but in my personal opinion, he's not.
There's no clear number one.
No, because it's just all based off your opinion. Because dunker is just it's so broad.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna say most dominant dunker, it's Shaq or it's Giannis. I'm gonna say if I'm gonna say flashiest dunker, it's gonna be Vince Carter. That kind of.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. LeBron James is definitely a category, but I'm trying to think of where he fits in.
He's a mix of that flashy and powerful.
Yeah. Longevity, just doing it for the longest.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have the time for a few more takes. This says Jeremy Lin did more for New York than KD, Kyrie, and Harden.
Combined?
That's it.
Yes, I agree.
And it says this is only if Brooklyn doesn't get exceptional trades for KD and Kyrie at some point.
I agree. Completely. Jeremy Lin had all of the United States, especially New York.
He fueled a culture.
Yes, exactly. And I watched a whole documentary about it. His performance in that 1 month was insane. I'm not going to say he was a better player than KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, but his impact was much greater than those players who don't really they don't play in a winning culture right now. Kyrie isn't even playing right now. KD was out for a whole season. I guess you could argue that series against Milwaukee was something, but like no one like that really didn't affect the city of New York like Jeremy Lin did. So I would say that's the best take of this whole video so far.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do one last and final take. 2019, 2022. 2019, 2020 Giannis. So his better of his 2 MVP years would dominate in any era.
Yes, I agree. I feel like every single top 10 player could dominate in any era.
I don't think Larry Bird could.
I think he could. Wait, why not?
I don't know. I think that was my phone. I think it's just I don't think I've watched enough of Larry Bird, but like he just seems like a kind of a better Klay Thompson. Like I always just think of him as like a better Klay Thompson. But like he's not obviously. But I don't know.
He's a much better passer.
Yeah.
He's around similar shooting, better defender.
Yeah.
I think any top 10 player would dominate in any era. Like Larry Bird could dominate with the Bruiser era with like the early 2000s, but also he'd fit in exactly right now with shooting. Like he's a very good shooter, solid defender, solid passer. Like he was the jack of all trades. He could do everything. Mm-hmm. And he hustled too. Like he'd be a superstar in any era. And I think Giannis would do the same thing.
Yeah. What do you think about Bill Russell?
He's such a dominant defender and rebounder.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking.
Like, he wouldn't be the best.
He'd probably be the worst
center.
out of 10.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the best
in the
center.
modern era.
He wouldn't be the best center today.
No.
He'd be third. Just because he didn't really have that versatility that Jokic and
He'd be better
Embiid
than
have.
Gobert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than Gobert, better than Towns.
He'd be a better version of Rudy Gobert.
And honestly, offensively, he could probably hang with. He would be good offensively too.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, we're talking about all-time greats.
Yeah.
Like, if you think they wouldn't adapt their game for this modern era, like you're being insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's also it's reversed too, like. It's such an old head argument of like Giannis wouldn't dominate in the Jordan era. Yes, he would. It's like, or I love this quote of Shaq. It's something along the lines of like people always wonder like, oh, like Shaq, like, well, how would you play in the NBA today? And Shaq, his reply is, I am playing. It's the Greek Freak. Like that's me.
Except you can't pronounce his name.
Except so he just calls him Greek Freak.
Exactly.
Which is fair, but like obviously Giannis dominates, and I guess their argument is that the NBA again. We're going back to the idea that the NBA is soft, and I guess their argument is that
tough players can play in a soft league.
Yeah, but Giannis isn't soft. Giannis isn't gonna just get like pushed around and like get fouled, and like he's obviously gonna have to develop. He probably wouldn't have been as great when he didn't have his free throw as developed, but that's fine now. I'm not worried about Giannis's free throw.
Exactly, especially in a league where, like earlier, like you didn't have to rely on drawing fouls as much.
Yeah.
Like he draws so many fouls that like being a bad free throw shooter sucks. Like that's where like James Harden gets a lot of his points. That's where like Damian Lillard and Steph Curry and Trae Young, all of them get a lot of their points. So like the fact that Giannis can't hit free throws and still averages over 30 points a game is insane.
Well, this was fun. I think this was fun. This was really fun. So yeah. Let us know down in the comments below what you thought of the hot takes. If you liked this kind of hot take style video, if you guys liked it, we'll be sure to make more. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Next video is going to be a Christmas themed video. Not exactly sure how we're gonna work it out all yet, but we got some solid ideas down. So get excited for that. Yeah, do you wanna?
Yeah, again, thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Leave a comment about any ideas that you have for our channel. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos. And that's it. See you guys later. Peace.
Wear your seatbelt.